the teen who built a $1 million app from his bedroom. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, where houses looked almost identical and evenings were filled with the sound of children playing and the hum of passing cars, lived a teenager named Daniel. At just 16 years old, Daniel was like many of his classmates. He loved video games, watched too many YouTube tutorials late at night, and sometimes forgot to finish his homework. But unlike most of his friends, he had one unusual obsession: apps. From the moment he borrowed his father's old laptop, Daniel became fascinated by how mobile applications worked. While other teens used apps to chat, play, and waste time, Daniel spent hours digging into coding tutorials, learning what happened behind the screen. He would sit cross-legged on his bed with the glow of the monitor lighting his face, typing lines of code while the rest of the house slept. His bedroom became half sanctuary, half laboratory. A cluttered space with empty snack wrappers on the desk, sticky notes on the wall with scribbled ideas, and a notebook filled with sketches of imaginary app interfaces. At first, his projects were small and often broke before they even worked. He tried to build a weather app, but it crashed every time he tested it. He attempted a simple calculator, but it gave the wrong answers. He laughed at his failures but never stopped trying. Each mistake taught him something new. Daniel knew he wasn't a genius yet, just a stubborn kid who refused to quit. Then one night while scrolling through social media, he noticed something. His friends were constantly complaining about forgetting their homework deadlines, school projects, or sports practice times. Everyone had a calendar app, but nobody seemed to use them effectively. That gave him an idea. What if he created an app designed specifically for students, something simple, clean, and fun that made organizing schoolwork feel less like a chore and more like a game? He called it Taskly, a playful name he scribbled on the back of a math worksheet. The idea was simple. Students could enter their assignments, projects, or goals, and the app would turn them into small challenges. Completing tasks earned points, unlocking virtual rewards like badges, streaks, or even little animations that celebrated progress. Daniel poured all his energy into this idea. He coded late at night, tested during lunch breaks, and even skipped hanging out with friends to refine his design. His parents thought he was just playing on the computer, unaware of the storm of creativity happening inside that bedroom. After 3 months of trial and error, countless cups of instant noodles, and hundreds of debug messages, Taskly was born. When Daniel uploaded it to the App Store, he expected maybe a few dozen downloads, mostly from friends and classmates. But within a week, Taskly started spreading like wildfire. Students loved the colorful design, the reward system, and how easy it was to use. Teachers even recommended it in classrooms, and parents noticed their kids were suddenly more organized. The app began to climb the charts, one download at a time. What surprised Daniel most was the messages. He received emails from students across the world, kids in Canada, India, Brazil, and beyond, thanking him for making their school life easier. Some said the app helped them manage stress. Others said it gave them motivation. Daniel realized his little bedroom project was actually making a difference. As downloads multiplied, so did opportunities. A small startup offered him advertising revenue. Then came sponsorships. Within a year, Taskly had crossed 1 million downloads. Daniel, still in high school, had to juggle classes with meetings, emails, and discussions with investors who couldn't believe a teenager had built something so successful. By the time he turned 18, Taskly wasn't just a student side project. It was a thriving business worth over $1 million. But Daniel didn't measure his success in money alone. For him, the real reward was proving that big dreams didn't need fancy offices, huge budgets, or professional titles. Sometimes they just needed a curious mind, a stubborn heart, and a bedroom with Wi-Fi. He still remembered the nights when his code broke, his app crashed, and he felt like giving up. Those failures, he realized, were stepping stones. They shaped his patience, sharpened his skills, and pushed him to keep improving. Every late night, every mistake, every retry mattered. Daniel's parents eventually realized what he had built. At first they were shocked, then amazed. His mother would peek into his room, no longer seeing just a messy teenager but a young entrepreneur shaping his future. His father, who once thought coding was just a hobby, proudly told neighbors that his son was a real innovator. And while Daniel was celebrated at school, he stayed humble. He still helped classmates with homework, still played video games, still lived in the same small house. But inside he carried the quiet confidence of someone who had turned a simple idea into a global tool. When asked later in interviews what inspired him, Daniel smiled and said, "I just wanted to solve a problem my friends were facing. I didn't build Taskly to get rich. I built it because I believe students deserve something better. The money came after." Daniel's story spread quickly, inspiring thousands of other teens who dreamed of building something from nothing. His journey showed that innovation wasn't limited to Silicon Valley or billion-dollar companies. Sometimes the next big idea could start in the smallest of places, a messy bedroom where a determined teen refuses to give up. He began to receive invitations to speak at schools, conferences, and online events. Many young people looked up to him not only for his success but also for his honesty. He admitted that the journey was not easy, that coding late into the night was tiring, that rejection emails stung, and that balancing school with work was overwhelming. But he also told them that passion could fuel persistence, and persistence could create change. And so the boy who once struggled to code a broken calculator became the teenager who built a $1 million app, proving to the world that youth, creativity, and persistence could change lives far beyond the walls of his own home.